MLB The Show 25's Team Affinity is completely different this year. Gone are the divisional programs and traditional way of grinding. Now you really have to think about how you're going to grind to get those 85 to 86 overall Jolt Series Diamonds, who not only are great for your Diamond Dynasty squad, but they're also captain cards that boost up members of that same team. So let's talk about how to quickly go through Team Affinity to get some great card rewards. Leave a like if you guys enjoy the videos, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. So as I mentioned, Team Affinity, as a construct, getting these cards completely changed from how it was in 24, and also what exactly Team Affinity does for you is also very different. Whereas before you would play a conquest and a showdown, maybe do a couple exchanges and you get a couple diamond cards, those things are nowhere to be found when you look in Team Affinity My Journey programs within MLB The Show 25. And likewise, I could hear you saying the cards are not that good in comparison to what we had gotten in the past. The Minnesota Twins, you get an 86 Jim Kaat, who is a good pitcher for sure, but the difference maker here is that captain boost. If you have, in this case, Minnesota Twins cards on your team, you'll get contact boost, batting clutch, and hit per 9 boost for your pitchers. Now, one interesting thing to note with captains in the game right now, and we'll do a video ranking the best of them because some of them, on their own merit, are very good and warrant to be on your team, but these as captain cards all have the same boost. They all vary differently in how much contact, batting clutch, and hit per 9 they'll give to the compatriots on your squad, but those are the only attributes they buff. And when you look at the My Journey programs, you see I just have 7%, which sounds like I've done nothing, but in fact, I've actually done a good bit. I am 105,000 Team Affinity points through this program. I've got the one and only diamond card within Team Affinity. Everything past that is really just planning for the future, like an All-Star Team Affinity card voucher that I can redeem the Twins All-Star card for in July when it is released, and the same thing for Finest when that rolls around in December. So really what we're looking at here is you have a moment challenge which offers you 5,000 TA points, and this is obviously something that you want to do for each and every Team Affinity program. If you complete one moment, you are going to get a free silver card, which again probably won't be a mainstay for your team, but you'll need it for more grinding within this program, and he's also valuable in collections. As you see right there, that Torrey Hunter, you need a measly 150 parallel XP, but you get 10,000 TA points for doing so. The name of the game in Team Affinity this year is just stacking your Diamond Dynasty squad in whatever mode that you plan on playing with members of that team to tally stats. Basically, that is the formula for each and every team in My Journey. All the stat missions are basically just incrementally asking for more of specific stats like strikeouts, wins, innings pitched, stolen bases, and that is how you're going to progress. And of course, as I mentioned, once you get some of the cards, like the gold card that comes at the 25,000 TA point slot, in this case it is Brooks Lee, and then Jim Kaat, the diamond at 55,000 TA points, using those cards also gives you a buff to the tune of 10,000 TA points for the gold card at 300 parallel XP, and if you get 500 parallel XP with your Diamond Jolt Series card, another 10,000. So really, Team Affinity this year, it just pushes you to use cards of a specific team. Again, as I mentioned in MLB 24, there was a showdown where if you played it, you got tens of thousands of points for the American League East and the National League East. And the same thing for Conquest. If you did one Conquest map, you got a bunch of points. It was very straightforward, and you could boost more points on top of that by using cards from teams within that division. So if you're grinding AL East, you have some Orioles, some Red Sox, some Yankees, some Jays and Rays. Now you really want to prioritize one team at a time. That is Team Affinity, right? Being loyal to one team, I suppose. If you don't, just put in members of one squad and really play with a whole team of Twins or Yankees, whoever it may be, you're not going to notice progress. Now, what modes should you actually grind Team Affinity for? Well, it's a little bit difficult. Diamond Quest, most often you do not get Team Affinity progress for actually playing, as most of the things that you play within Diamond Quest are going to be showdowns or moment challenges, which do not track stats. So notice after hitting this home run of the Diamond Quest moment challenge, we do not get any mission progress at the end screen. We also don't see any gains in terms of parallel XP. And if you flash back to when we were first looking at the On the Rise missions, we were at 64 hits. We are still at 64 after the home run. This is just to address a couple people saying that Diamond Quest does track stats, not for the showdown or the moment challenges. However, when you get to the end of a Diamond Quest and go to the Stadium Challenge, given that this is a 3-inning game, you do earn both parallel XP and mission progress here. So that would give you Team Affinity progress in the Stadium Challenge. So when it comes down to it, the two modes I really recommend are going to be Conquest and Mini Seasons. These are both great because, one, they give you extra rewards, like if you play through and win the Mini Seasons Championship here, you get an 87cc Sabathia, which is awesome. And every game that you play, you're going to earn progress within those missions. And again, as I suggested, I highly recommend playing on rookie difficulty here. There's really not a large gain for playing on a harder difficulty. And I would recommend playing at a small park like Blank Canvas, where it is 270 feet to the poles. If you're looking for the stadium, type in GomesDaLegend as the online ID or type in Blank Canvas as the stadium name. Look for the trees in left field. And that is, of course, going to be the best progress, being able to play at those really tiny ballparks where you can not be good and still hit home runs. Conquest, however, is a little bit more difficult, but there's exclusive rewards here that you're going to want. As I mentioned in a previous video, Conquest has been split up this year to make it far easier and less time consuming, and there's some great hidden pack rewards in here. On top of that, you also get these gold pipeline cards. You can put these in the pipeline collection to get really good diamonds. So that is Team Affinity this year, at least for now. Once again, they did mention that the My Journey programs at the beginning of MLB The Show 25 is just exactly that, what is here at the launch of MLB 25. There will be more Team Affinity programs that come throughout the year. This will not be added on to. You do not need to get 1 million Team Affinity points to get the next cards that they release. These TA programs are meant to be there so you can continually earn progress throughout the year. Obviously, getting ahead of the curve and getting a voucher like this is great, but they realize that only the people that really play with theme teams, really play with just Yankees, are probably going to get there. So you do not need to get to 285,000 TA points for every team to get the All-Star cards when they release on July 11th. You just really have to focus, maybe get the diamonds, because that will be the only way to get these. And once All-Star comes around, there will be a new Team Affinity program for you to earn those. And I'll talk about it a little bit more when I'm doing my ranking video, suggesting which TA cards are actually worth your time, because again, you really have to go out of your way this year for Team Affinity, when in the past, you didn't really need to. Like the Conquest, you were going to play anyway. The Showdown, you're probably going to play anyway. Now, you really got to think about it. Is it actually worth it to get this card? But that is how I would suggest getting Team Affinity done. Again, it is really just get hits, get home runs, strike people out, play innings. If you want a tip to get more strikeouts, pitch with high K/9 pitchers. That is a big difference maker. If you're having trouble against high difficulty CPU, they're hitting the ball constantly, get high K/9 pitchers. That will help you out a bunch. But otherwise, look forward to the video where we're going to talk about the best Team Affinity cards that you guys should prioritize first. A couple of them are really going to help you out in this seemingly dead ball era that is launch of MLB 25, where nobody can hit the ball very hard or very far. If you guys enjoyed this one, leave a like down below. I would greatly appreciate it, and thank you all for watching.